Alright, welcome to the video. In this video, we're going to be going over the Hystrix Prime. The Hystrix is a secondary weapon. It functions like a machine gun pistol, and its unique trait is that it applies one of four of the basic elements. So that's cold, heat, toxin, and electric. And you get to choose when you start the mission, just by pressing your alternate fire, it'll switch between, fire quill, electric quill, cold quill. You're able to choose what quill you want to shoot out. Now, the other interesting thing that's not said in the unique trait here is that most weapons, when they have an innate element, it tries to mix with other elements in the in your mod configuration. So, like, let's say here I have viral on this build here. So this one's toxin, this one's cold to make viral. But if I switched to toxin quills, or if I had a weapon that had innate toxin, it gets calculated at the very end of the equation there. So it would kind of sit here. Well, it senses that I already have toxin on the weapon, and it tries to put that innate toxin and add it to the element. So it would just increase my viral weighting, basically. It would just give me a higher viral weighting. But on this weapon, whatever you choose as the quill type does not mix with elements on the weapon. So it's possible to get weird combinations that you normally wouldn't be able to get. Not that we're going to use that ourselves, so maybe I over-explained that a little bit, but it's just an interesting thing. You could do some interesting things with this weapon because of that, because that innate element that you're able to choose with the alternate fire does not mix. So, okay, Hystrix. We're going to be going with Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, Galvanized Crosshairs for crit chance, Prime Pistol Gambit and Prime Target Cracker for crit chance crit damage mods, Lethal Torrent for fire rate multi-shot, Hornet Strike for a big flat damage boost, and then we're going to be going with Pistol Pestilence and Frostbite for viral. Targeting subsystems is on hit. We're going to be increasing our accuracy when aiming for 9 seconds. Now we're going to be aiming anyway because of Galvanized Crosshairs, so basically we're just going to get plus 30% accuracy, which is nice with this weapon because it's not a super accurate weapon. At close range, you're not really going to have any issues. Even if you didn't have this on, at close range, you probably wouldn't have issues with accuracy with the Hystrix. But at medium ranges and definitely long ranges, you're going to see a lot of your shots are going to be wasted. They're going to be like, going to the sides of your enemies and kind of missing. So targeting subsystems does help with like medium to long range shooting when that needs to happen. The other option is going to be ammo. So ammo mutation. So if we go here to the Exilus slot, Prime Pistol Ammo Mutation would be another option for that slot. It's pretty expensive, but you could put it there. So this has a magazine of 16, ammo pickup of 60, which is very generous, and an ammo maximum of 320, which is okay. So I've chosen to go with targeting subsystems over Prime Pistol Ammo Mutation because this will effectively increase your DPS because you get to get more hits on target. Prime Pistol Ammo Mutation will make it so that you can kind of sit comfier without having to worry about your ammo. I don't feel like this weapon has that bad of ammo issues. I guess we'll see in the gameplay if I do encounter it. And then finally for the Arcane, we're going to be going for secondary Deadhead for flat damage and a headshot multiplier. And when I get into the game, I'm able to choose what element I want that quill to be, and I'm going to be choosing fire or heat for the quill. Reason being, heat is just a good element in general. There's no enemies that are resistant to heat, and you get the CC out of it. You get like a little 3-second CC on the enemies, and you get a little bit of armor strip as you get more and more heat procs. So you're not going to be full stripping with a single heat element on it, but it's just it's one of the best of the 4 main elements. Okay, and again, we're testing the weapon on its own merits. We're not going to be mixing it with Warframe abilities or killing with the Warframes, getting it through pet damage or pet stuff. Yep, you do, Pepper, I know. So, okay. So the Inaros, no Archon shards, that way it doesn't affect weapon damage. No mods that affect weapon damage, no arcanes that affect weapon damage, and my pet has no weapon and no mods on him that are going to be affecting weapon damage. That way we can solely focus on the weapon and how it performs. Okay, we're going to be doing a 10-minute Kuva survival on Steel Path, and then after that we're going to be doing a Lua Conjunction survival just because enemies start at a little bit higher levels. Now, I believe when you start the mission, the Hystrix starts on Toxin, which also isn't a bad mod. If you want to kind of just not really worry too much, you can just not even worry about your alternate fire. Yeah, so it starts at a Poison Quill. If you look in the bottom right, it says Poison Quill. And then as I click the alternate fire, now it's fire, now it's electric, now it's ice. I like to keep it on fire, but if you wanted to be lazy and didn't really, care about remembering at the beginning of every mission to switch it to fire, Poison Quill is probably your next best option. The only thing that's strong against poison is mechanical enemies, and they only have a 25% resistance. So it's an okay element also to keep. So if you just kind of wanted to, be big dumb and not worry too much about it, you can keep on Poison Quill. But I will be switching it to a Fire Quill. So we'll be doing Viral and Fire. Open this. I'm going to cast my 4 to double my armor, and that's going to be the last time I use a ability. If I have to use an ammo pad at some point, I'll make sure I say so. I believe at max stacks, this is going to be a mostly orange with some yellow crit build. I don't think I'll get any reds. But that's still it's still a strong. I'm happy with orange crits. And, with a Riven, you could make this into a red crit build. You would just need a Riven with crit chance. This is a strong secondary. It's not like a meta secondary, though. It's going to be a lot weaker than some of the really strong secondaries in the game. So I would say this is probably like an average Steel Path secondary. I'm going to head over to the first group of life sports, probably hit 1 or 2 of them. And we'll try to get the enemies to follow us here as well. So I probably have lost my stacks at this point because I haven't been killing little guys, so this guy's going to be a little bit harder to kill. But as you can see, it's still pretty good against Eximuses. Better than a lot of weapons when their stacks run out. I think Deadhead is still going to beat out Merciless as far as an arcane goes. But Merciless, you know, it is an option because you're going to be reloading so much with this weapon. Merciless will increase your reload speed by a little bit. I think Deadhead still is better, but you can, you know, it's not the end of the world if you want to use Merciless. It might help you with the crazy reloads on this. Not that the reloads are, you know, not that they take a long time to do. It's just that it has a low magazine size, so you're reloading a lot. I don't even know where the Acolyte is. He is in this group somewhere. There he is. So as you can see, it does respectable damage against the Acolyte. It's not going to delete them. I also have to figure out where the hell the Acolyte is. I keep losing him. Keeps turning into a wave and running past me into a group of Grenier. Oh my goodness. Turned into a wave running past me and then disappearing. There he is. He's dead. That was a little bit painful. I'm going to move over to the next set of life supports. Hit one of them. Hit two if the other one comes up. So my stacks are pretty much gone now, or they're slowly decreasing. This is going to be a little bit less. Get back into mostly orange kits here in a second. One of the things that single target secondary weapons struggle with, where single target primaries don't necessarily, is with punch through. Because single target primaries have access to Prime Shred once you get it as a login reward, which makes single target primaries competitive against the AoE meta, where secondaries don't have a good option for punch through. They have a punch through mod, but it's not a very good thing. It's you basically using an entire mod slot just to add punch through, where primaries get fire rate on top of it, so it acts as their fire rate mod that they would normally have, and with punch through. So that's the only problem with secondary single targets, is that even though enemies are, you know, nice and lined up and you would love to shoot right through them, you can't really with a secondary. To this life support here and hit it. if you're at this point in the Kua Fortress, you can actually use this console right here and press this button. Press this button. There we go. And the whole floor will drop down and you can get back up top that way. So Malice spawning, I have to be careful with the bubble. I'm going to bring him a little bit over to this life support here, just because I know I'm going to need it. And then after we kill him, we're likely going to extract. Put the Malice bubble on me. Rolled out of it. He's inside the Malice bubble right now. That's why I can't shoot. That's why I can't damage him, rather. I'm going to stay a little bit quiet just because I have to hear the Malice bubble because I have low graphics. There we go. I just dropped the Malice bubble. Drop the Malice bubble again. And he's dead. All right, let's head over to extract. So that's 330 kills. Don't know that we have a marker for extract yet. Oh, there's a marker. I just saw it pop up briefly. You want to give me a marker now? Maybe it's this way. There it is. Yep. So 330 kills for 10 minutes. That's okay. It's like an average amount compared to some others. Maybe a little bit below average.
A valuable lesson.
We're going to queue up a Lua Conjunction Survival and see how it does there. Weaker weapons usually fail at the first 5 minutes, so we'll see if we can get past that 5 minutes. So we're going to go Lua, Circulus, and we're going to queue this up. I have a feeling this weapon will probably fail at 5 minutes.
The art of combat must be practiced to truly master the canvas.
I'm going to use my 4 here to double my armor, and that's the last ability I'm going to be using. If I have to use an ammo pad at some point, I'll make sure I say so. Oh, and there I didn't switch my quill, so I'm going to switch to fire quill. Once you've switched, you can kind of forget about it. It'll just like stay on that mode. I'm going to try to fight in this room here because this is where the first few life supports are going to spawn. Try to get as many small kills as possible just so I can farm some of the yellow life supports. I'm going to hit this first one here just to top off. Gonna hit that second life support. It'll also let the enemies start funneling into this bigger room. Get this final life support, and then we'll see where the next set of 3 spawn. I'm going to try to move over to this next life support here, just because this is where it gets a little bit tough, because the Acolyte and the Thraxes are going to be spawning at about the same time. I really should focus on the Thraxes when they come, though, because they're going to be the ones that are sucking life support from me. So the next 2 life supports should spawn in this room, so we'll stay in this room, and we'll hope we get some of these guys trickling back here so we can start farming yellow life supports. Might have to meet them a little bit halfway so I can get some yellows. Nope, they're not even close. Oh my goodness. This set of life supports was very far.
These manifestations, they aren't from the neural century. Destroy them. They are drawing from your life support.
Alright, that was kind of respectable damage against that Thrax. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And we also have not gotten the Acolyte at the exact same time, which is going to help us a lot. Alright, Thraxes are gone. So we made it past that 5-minute point with the Thraxes. We could focus on the Acolyte when he comes. We are going to have a little bit of air issues because we're still waiting for this like huge group of enemies to move in here. Torment with his shenanigans he pulls. Gonna hit this. Our fight with the Acolyte will hopefully give time for those enemies to get in this area, because I will probably have to move areas again soon because he is in the floor. I think there's only going to be 1 more life support that spawns in this area here. Alright, Acolyte is dead, and we are very close to failing here. Yep, we're going to be getting out of life support. There it is. So that's as far as this weapon will take us, 7 minutes. I feel like this weapon probably could have made it a little bit farther if I would have had better spawned enemies, or if that second set of life supports wasn't so far away. But regardless, I don't know if this would have made us past 10 minutes with the second group of Thoraxes, just because they get a little bit stronger. So this is it's like an average secondary weapon for Steel Path. It's definitely Steel Path viable. It's fun to use. Feels good. And the versatility of being able to switch the quill type is nice too. I'll go over the build one more time. So it's going to be the Hystrix Prime. It's an automatic secondary weapon. It's like a little machine pistol. Has the unique trait in that it you could choose between the 4 basic elements for the quills that it shoots: toxin, heat, electric, and cold. And the other unique thing, which isn't really noted here, is that it doesn't try to mix. So like most innate elements will try to mix with whatever you have on the weapon. So these innates do not mix. They are just separate. They are always going to be whatever you choose. If you choose toxin, you will get toxin on the enemy. If you choose cold, you'll get cold on the enemy, etc. So, okay. So we got Galvanized Fusion for multi-shot. Galvanized Crosshairs for crit chance. Prime Pistol Gambit and Prime Target Cracker for crit chance, crit damage. Lethal Torrent for fire rate multi-shot. Hornet Strike for a big flat damage boost. And Pistol Pestilence and Frostbite to make viral. Now, if you're playing Whispers content, remember, viral is not good there, so you want to switch to corrosive instead. Targeting Subsystem for the Exilus slot, which is going to increase the accuracy. This weapon is not super accurate, so this is going to help with like mid-range shooting if you need to. Secondary Deadhead for a large flat damage boost, and headshot multiplier and a reduction in recoil. Secondary Merciless is also an option. I feel like it's a little bit weaker because the headshot multiplier helps with damage. The reduction to weapon recoil is super helpful because otherwise you would probably have to use like steady hands or whatever the equivalent is for secondaries. But Merciless will give you quicker reloads, and this weapon does reload a crap load. So I still recommend Deadhead, but you could switch it out and try it if you want. That's really it for this weapon. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. If you like the video, give it a like and subscribe if you want to. I'm still pretty new at this, so these videos might be a little bit rough, but I'm hoping to get better. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.